Hello everybody! Welcome to Agashi Review, where I review movies, dramas that you don't want to waste your time watching. I'll give you synopsis, shorts review along with my thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now let's go into the review. Hello everybody, Agashi here today. So today I'm going to be doing a Chinese drama review on the drama called Legend of Fei. So it's a total of 51 episodes, and I don't really care when it airs because by the time I got to it, it's already at like episode like 18 or 20, something like that. So I watched the first 4 episodes with you guys, and with you guys. I watched the first 4 episodes, so I'm going to review that with you guys. So I'm going over cast synopsis in the first 4 episodes. And there's so much hyped up for this drama. Obviously, it's because it's Zhao Li Ying's comeback drama, because now she's married and she has a kid and she's back, and obviously WANG YI BO is like the shit right now, you know, like everybody's just like loving him because of him and Sean being in the Untamed. The two of them is like the new rising star now. So I am a bit confused, so do correct me if I'm wrong from my understanding of the drama. Comment below, let me know, and try to explain things if I don't understand it. But let's go ahead and jump into the review. As for our cast, sorry for my pronunciation, we have Zhao Li Ying as Tu Fei. She is the descendant of a generation of hero of the Fortress 48 villager, and she's like the owner of the Southbreaker knife. And then we have WANG YI BO as Xin Yun, and he has his real identity is he's the former king of the dynasty. So he's an orphan prince and has martial art unlike any other one else, and he's handsome, he's good and everything like that, but he's keeping his identity a secret. And then we have Zhang Huang Wei as Wu Chu Chu, the daughter of General Fu Fei, and she is a very gentle lady, and she's a girl who's well known to be educated. And then we have Chen Huang as Li Sheng, and he's kind of arrogant, but he's also noble and kind, and he's the cousin of Tu Fei, and he has kind of like, you know, they don't get along. He's always jealous of Fei because Fei is better at everything, but he's willing to like push and get out there and become his own character. And then we have Sung Jin as Yin Ping, the son of Yin Wei Lin and the only survivor of the Ying family, and he was raised up by Jin Yun Shen as his family was destroyed, and he kind of has like a cruel personality because of his past and everything like that. And then we have Zhu Jinzhong as Li Yang, and she is the sister of Li Sheng and also a cousin of Fei. As for our synopsis, 20 years ago, the Blade of the South, Li Huang, was secretly ordered by the Emperor to establish the 48 stronghold in the Shu Mountain, in an effort to shelter the poor and rejected refugee. The Fortress 48 holds bandits protecting everybody from the outside world, and Li Hui's death, his daughter Li Jinrong becomes the head of 48th the Fortress of 48, and she marries a scholar, Zhu Yitian, and they gave birth to Tu Fei. In the present day, a young man goes by the name Xin Yun, and he is carrying around a token by Ping, and he crosses the bridge, which is impossible to cross for the Fortress 48, and he has to give that to Zhu Yitian. And meanwhile, Tu Fei, who is the descendant of the Blade of the South, was born and raised within the 48 in the Fortress of 48, yet she has not seen the outside world or learned many martial art or anything like that, and she's attempting to escape, but it fails. Her mother allows her to go and experience the outside world, and she meets Xin Yun on her way, and they encounter many things along their journey and realize that there's so many secrets that has been buried for 20 years, and they're slowly uncovering it and bringing them back to surface. Recap on the first 4 episodes. The drama starts us off with Tu Fei talking about one day you'll be crossing the Sumo River and you'll experience what's beyond the mountain. In the process of talking about it, a sword is in the process of making, and then we see her pull it out. And the narrator talks about how Li Shen, which he built the Li Shen, he built the Fortress of the 48, and it became like the best, built with talents and prosperity. And then we see some men trying to cross the Simo River, trying to get into the Fortress 48. And then there's some wires appearing and rocks coming up and reforming and doing all these things like that. And they can't get across. They get cut by these wires, stuff like that. And there's an old man who guards that river, Yu Lao, who watches over it. And he controls everything of the rotation of the wires so that people cannot enter the Fortress of the 48. Just then we see one man all in black where he's able to cross the river with all those wires and everything, using the leaves to help him step across so that it doesn't cut him. At the same time, we see Zhu Fei. She's on her way home, and Li Xin challenges her. They get into a duel. She calls it a fight, but he doesn't want to call it a tie because he wants to be better in martial art than her. We clearly see that Li Xin isn't as good as Zhu Fei, plus they don't get along, and she gets blamed for everything he does. Just then, the fire goes off as Yu Lao announces that there is an intruder who got into the fortress. Everybody is scrambling, trying to find this intruder. Zhu Fei actually goes on her own and finds this intruder, and it's actually Xin Yu. And he gets away, which both her and Li Xin gets punished for. She's grounded and punished more by her mother, who is the leader of the fortress, that she never listens. Li Xin feels bad as he overhears Jinrong, which is the leader, which is Afei's mom, and Chu Yiten, which is Afei's dad, talking about how Li Xin isn't born to be the master of martial art, but they must train him because he's the next to take on the control, becoming the leader of the Fortress of the 48. So this brings him to wanting to leave the fortress and then go explore the world because he wants to find his own character and he doesn't want to be stuck within the fortress where he doesn't know anything. As he's trying to leave, his sister catches him and she, he ties her up and so that he can go. With Li Xin trying to escape, the sister goes and tells Zhu Fei that her brother is on the run. Both Zhu Fei and Li Xin appears at the Shimo River, and it's the only way to get out without crossing the bridge through the gate and everything getting caught. Well, as they try to leave, he jumps off the bridge to try to cross, they jump off the cliff to try to cross. Zhu Fei realizes that something is weird about the water and tonight, and it turns out Yu Lao has put full blast on the string and water because they control everything to catch the intruder, which is Xu Yun. And so Zhu Fei, but instead it caught Li Xin and Zhu Fei instead, and Xin Yu comes and helps them, and which brings the leader, her mom, and Yu Lao to learn that they're actually out there, so they go and stop all the wires and everything. And Xu Yun gets caught, and he tells them that he's just a messenger boy and he has a message to deliver to Lord Kang Ten. And they're like, who the hell is Lord Kang Ten? And he said he has to meet him personally to pass on the message, and he can't give the message to them to give on. So the leader, which is the mom, she doesn't want him to meet the dad, so he won't go unless he meets the dad. So Zhu Fei helps and Xin Yu escapes. She ends up getting punished harshly by her mother, and her mother tells her, do you remember what happened 10 years ago when an intruder came in? And we flash back to 10 years ago when an intruder came into the fortress. They took her, and she was saved by Li Xin's father, and Li Xin's father died because of that. So in a way, she feels guilt for it, and in a way, it's put onto her. But anyways, Xun Yu makes it into the fortress. He finally meets Zhu Yinten, who is the Lord Kang Teng, and he gives him the Aping badge token. And he says that he won't risk himself for that. He just has to deliver that. And Yinten asks Zhu Fei to get the badge, and without saying anything, both Yinten and Zhurong, which is the mom and the dad, knows what's about to happen. Zhu Fei learns that her father has to leave, and she tries to convince him to stay, but he doesn't say much to her. The next day, Zhurong stands at the battlefield of like the fortress, stuff like that, while her husband leaves. Zhu Fei wakes up to learn that her father is leaving. She goes after him, not to stop him, but she wants to go with him. He doesn't allow her to, and he asks his people around there to stop her from being able to escape. She go with him. She gets into a fight and she breaks her sword. Her father's last words to her is she must learn that she can never have things both way or her way, and she has to learn to give up and what to give up and what to take. He leaves and they shut the gates. She cries and she leaves as her sword is broken. Xu Yu picks up the sword, and that's ended for there. And 6 months later, Zhu Fei still remembers her father's word, and she practices hard at the Simo River every day trying to cross the wire, but she gets hurt and everything like that. But she progresses and everything, and she makes it to the battle for the fortune graduation battle, something like that. She does her mission, and you know, because if you graduate or something like that, you can finally go on missions where you can actually exit the fortress and everything. So she does actually, you know, win that, and she does get to go. Now we see her father. He's back in his warrior clothes, and he's out there battling a war, and they must save the General Wu Fei's family because they hold something valuable that the demon, the bad guy, wants. Both the Wu family, the parents got killed, and now they're after the daughter and the son. And so there's Chong Feng, who works at the fortress. He was sent out there to bring the daughter and the son back, and they're being chased, and they run into Xin Yu, who actually helps them. But after he helps them, leading them to the Huang residence where they're friends and they're in good hands, something like that. Apparently the Huang resident isn't all that good. They all get drugged and they all get locked up. Not returning and sending any letters home for days, Madame Wang worries that her grandson, which is Chong Fei, has not come back or completed his mission, or something has happened while trying to bring the Wu family home. Su Fei and Li Sheng, who has passed their graduation, now they get picked to go with Madame Wu to go find out what happened to Chong Fei and everybody else. For the first time, Su Fei and Li Xin gets to see the world outside of the fortress and everything like that. Instead of sticking to the mission, Li Xin decides to run away at night. Su Fei sees him and goes after him, but leads her a different path. Li Xin is now on his own, and Su Fei ends up finding the whole residence where she saves Chong Feng, the Wu family, and everybody, and she meets Xin Yu again. With his help, they both escape and help everybody, leading them back to Madame Wang, and everything is good. Now they have to make their way back to the fortress, and on their way back to the fortress, they need to find out where Li Shen is to bring him back home. And you know, they're being chased by bad guys constantly, and now they become targets, and Xin Yu decides to stay with them and going along with them. So that's the recap of the first 4 episodes. A lot happened, but I just pay attention to the main thing of what's going on with you guys. I mean, it's just really literally the first 4 episodes. It's just introduction to us, so we'll eventually get more into it. I did spoil it for myself by looking into certain scenes here and there, and they do go through more together, and like we slowly get to see more of Shiyu's past, and obviously we know he's royal, but you know, he's keeping a secret why and all stuff like that. So slowly his past gets to kicked in, and obviously, you know, Su Fei, she learns a lot more on the way and everything like that. So everybody's all hyped up for it, and I think the romance will start to grow as we get onto it. This drama is 51 episodes, so it's going to be a long way, and literally we're just at the intro right now, where it's just barely starting, and she's just barely experiencing her journey out there of, for the first time, being outside of the fortress. So a lot more is going to happen, and Li Xun hasn't appeared yet, so we obviously know so many things gonna happen. But do check it out if you guys haven't. If you guys are looking for a Chinese drama, like, you know, to watch, check this out. I actually really do like it, to see how it's gonna turn out, because everybody's so hyped up for it. And I actually like watching Zhao Li Ying's drama. She's actually really good. She's actually one of my favorite Chinese actresses, so I do really enjoy watching her type of dramas like this. So I really do look forward to see how it's gonna go. And like I said to my sister, oh my gosh, finally Wang Yi Bo has line, because in Untamed he barely talked, so he's actually has lines. So he has like a total different character from what he was when he was playing in Untamed. So really looking forward to his acting and to see how it turns out. But that's it for today, and I will see you guys next time.